Men can't be infertile because they can't have kids. Only women can reproduce, and only sperm from a man can do that. It's so simple. Yet you get it so wrong. Like, sure, yeah, if we go traditional route, yeah, you need the sperm from a man and the egg from a woman. But getting pregnant or having or conceiving a child does not work if one of the two parties is infertile, because guess what? If a man doesn't produce enough viable sperm, then you're not gonna have like great chances of getting pregnant either. And I know people like ignoring that. I thought people were just ignoring that because that hurts men's egos to be like, oh no, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my favorite organ. That can't be, right? So they ignore it, or so I thought. Because turns out apparently people don't know that there can actually be a problem with men's reproductive health. Interesting. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving back into bad women's and sometimes men's anatomy, because this subreddit does not discriminate all that much. You know, it's just funny how wrong people can get their own or other humans' bodies release. So that's what we're doing today. But in the meantime, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water or some tea, whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. In the meantime, feel free to also like and subscribe. Okay, do you have your drink? Good. Let's continue. Color changing? A friend asked if women's period blood changes color each month. Typically, they ask some questionable questions, but this one takes the cake. The clarification here is referring to non-red or brown colors after further questioning. Because yeah, having it look a little bit different each month, fine. Yeah, that can happen, you know, depending on how hydrated you are, how good your other health is, how your hormone levels are. That can happen, right? And like usually ends up looking a little bit different start of your period to end of your period. But it's not like blue liquid like it adds. I kind of figured people knew they just did that for the ads, but well, let me tell you something. If your period somehow magically ends up yellow or green, you should probably go to a doctor, but I don't think it happens that much, you know? A drawing of an arcane character. Let me just break my back real quick. I found this while trying to find pictures of the back of Jinx's top, so I know what I need for a cosplay. Was not expecting to find this while scrolling. Yeah, the clitoris hormones causes the spine to be flexible. Duh. You people know nothing about women's anatomy, do you? Sarcasm. I love that you put the sarcasm tag, because you just know that some people were actually gonna take you serious and think you're full on serious, because with the amount of wild things you read on the subreddit, it's kind of understandable that people would think you're serious, because they say some weird things. I've also been told that when men ejaculate too much, they lose like bone marrow from their spine to rebuild it. Like to rebuild their sperm, which is apparently a not uncommon thing in some countries for parents to teach their kids to keep them from masturbating. So, you know, but still, yeah, your hormones make your spine flexible. That's a normal thing. I hope you also found a picture of the back of the top eventually, because this post or this picture was not helpful for your cosplay. That's the normal place for your uterus and everything to be, right? Where men have their like stomach and everything, you have your uterus. You didn't know that, huh? It's not even that you can see it better. You didn't need to do it this high in the graph for it to be better visible. It's just inaccurate, and you would have had like more space and like less hands behind it if you actually did it in the right place. So really, why? Like, what were you thinking? And if you were thinking, what the hell were you thinking while creating this graph, picture, whatever? What even? Yes, 100% correct. Mammographs smash open the lump, causing the parasites to go wild and actually gives you cancer. There, someone finally said it. Okay, listen, I'm not a doctor, but neither are you. Do you really think that doctors would do this if it is actually true? Like, do you think it would be such a common practice to do mammographies if it would actually give people cancer? Because cells are tiny. Like, the lumps in breasts sometimes are just tissue. Maybe they're like collections of cells sticking together, sure. But I kind of have a feeling it kind of just like breaks them apart a little, but not actually squishes them open. Because either you already have cancer cells or you don't. You're not magically gonna get cancer cells. Like, if this is your logic, if the lumps give you cancer, if you squish them open, then you already kind of have cancer. It just hasn't manifested further yet, but it's already there, and you would get cancer no matter what, even if you don't have the mammography and smash it open. What do you... this logic is not logicking at all, really. Young men, before you spend your money on a diamond, make sure she has never self-raped her sin cave. It is up to you to remember to ask the hard questions. It is never okay to marry a masturbator. StopMasturbationNow.org. Her fingers are for diamond rings, not for ringing the devil's doorbell. I have literally never understood why people demonize masturbating so much. Like, especially for women, but also for men. Like, it's not that uncommon, right? It's obviously way more shame for women, but still. Like, I have never understood for anyone, really, why. Some people do it for stress relief. Some people do it just because. But, like, why? What is this weird obsession people have with it? Like, what do you care what someone else did with her body? I know people apparently seem to care a lot what other people do with their bodies, but I've never understood why. But this whole post is just funny. Like,
remember, men, you need to ask the hard question because women aren't honest about it. You need to really drill her to make sure she has never touched herself, because then she knows what might actually feel good and will be really unpleased with you.
Or something. I have no idea where they're getting, like, how they got here, why it's so evil. I have never understood it. Consider clavicle shortening surgery. This procedure can help create a more balanced and proportionate upper body appearance. Learn more about the procedure, recovery, and potential results. Board-certified surgeon specializing in cosmetic shoulder procedures. A cosmetic solution for narrower shoulders? Okay, let's create problems where there aren't problems. Like, I know some people are really insecure about their shoulders. And, like, especially nowadays where people want to pull the whole, oh, but you can always tell when someone is trans. And literally 90% of the time come for, like, random cis people who just happen to have features that aren't masculine or feminine enough for these people's, like, expectation, really. But why? Like, listen, I mean, if you know yourself best, I'm not coming for cosmetic procedures. Because you know yourself best, and you need to actually, like, be able to tell for yourself apart whether it's just because, like, you're slightly insecure because people might have made comments about it when you were younger because teenagers are rude and made fun of your white shoulders as a teenager or something, or your nose or whatever. Like, I think you can tell whether it's just, like, a little insecurity or whether it's actually on your mind like 24/7, whether it's actually bothering you so much that you are actually considering a procedure for it, you know. But still, what? This is still kind of wild to me, because this just seems like the whole, I know these people who have this procedure actually are probably not coming from that, but it just seems like they are coming from it, from like a transphobia of like, oh my god, I would never want to be mistaken for a trans woman. I can't have that happen, so I'm just gonna do this. I know that's not where they're coming from probably, but that's what I'm thinking of right now. I will die on the Stairmaster before I lose to this girl with the pink Stanley. I'm like a bird, like a pelican in the wilderness, like an owl in the deserts. Women need strong legs to ovulate better for us men. Okay, bro's literally going 3 times the speed of the bimbo. Ah yes, because she likes the color pink, she's automatically a bimbo? And not, he's a really silly dude because he can't ever lose to a woman, because like, listen, no one would even know. No one of the other people at the gym would even know, because you could just kind of like, you walk past them and you only see them in that moment. You don't see how long each one has been on there. You don't see, like, maybe he's already been on that 20 minutes and that's why he's dying, right? Because it's a freaking Stairmaster. But like, no one else saw this. If you didn't post about it, no one would even know that you were next to some chick with a pink Stanley. But you needed to post about it to be like, no, I'm so manly apparently that I am so insecure about it, really. Literally, no one would know. It's just screaming insecurity and not,
I'm gonna prove my manliness.
Because it's just silly. It's literally just a pink Stanley. Girl needs to stay hydrated at the gym. Okay, so she brought her big ass Stanley. That seems really fair. And maybe she just really likes the color pink. But you're being an insecure dickhead about it. And it's kind of funny. And also, how do legs help ovulating? I know I totally skimmed past that part actually, because I was just mad about this dude apparently. But what do you mean we need, like, what do you mean women need strong legs to ovulate better? What? Where did you get this from? Wanna know something a dude said in the discussion for the debate? It's bad because when a female orgasms for the first time, it permanently changes their brain chemistry, so it should be with someone better. Oh my god, what? 90% of men who say this, at least, have probably never actually made a woman come. So, you wouldn't know. You really wouldn't know. And also, where did you get this information? Did you get it from some incel subreddit where y'all whine about women not choosing you or something because their first orgasm changed them too much? Or did you actually get this from a viable source? Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, every orgasm, short term, kind of changes your brain chemistry because it releases certain happy hormones, right? But yeah, the first orgasm apparently permanently changes it, right? You didn't know that, did you? That's, what do you... These people are giving me a headache because I try to figure out how that would actually work, but it just... What are you thinking, really? Like, really, what are you thinking? Go donate blood, you jerks. Yeah, men donating drastically helps reduce heart attacks. Women menstruate all over the place, so they get regular oil changes. Men do not. Heart attacks are rare in both sexes under age 50. Thanks for the unrelated info. Donating blood before 50 reduces heart attacks when you're older because you're getting new blood. Got a link to that study? It's giving medieval times of, oh, we're gonna cure any illness you might have with bloodletting or leeches to get rid of the bad blood. This is what this is giving. You know, a heart attack isn't because of the blood itself, really. It's because the walls are clogged and the arteries are getting narrower. Like, I mean, sure, it comes from the blood. Like, obviously, the thing is in the blood that builds the plaque, right? Obviously, but donating blood once a month or every 2 months isn't drastically gonna help. Because the rest of the blood you have is still gonna create the same effect. Like, maybe a little bit less, sure, because the new blood you build isn't instantly gonna be as cloggy as the rest. But if you continue eating the way you did, or if you just have other medical conditions, you're just gonna end up with a heart attack anyways, even if you donate blood. How did you get here? And also, I don't know if referring to periods as oil changes is super cringy or not. It seems kind of funny to me right now. But I still don't like the way he phrased it, of like, oh yeah, they're just like bleeding all over the place. Like, sure, I think it'd be funny if women did that because men would be so freaked out. But I get why people who menstruate don't do that, right? But it kind of be funny. She has stretch Bologna energy. Not to be logical here, but the vagina is like a rubber band. After sexual activity, it goes back to its normal size, so there is no such thing as being stretched out. Even a rubber band that's only stretched 100 times will lose its original shape. Yeah, because rubber and muscles are different. Because, yeah, I mean, if you have like a new rubber band, obviously, right? If it's old and like gets really hard and breaks, I know what you mean by this last comment, but it's not exactly a rubber band. It is a muscle. But still, like, it doesn't matter how many times you move a muscle, it will just go back to its original shape. What do you... Sure. Detect vaginal tightness. Look for vaginal tightness in a woman's face. The tightest vaginas belong to the lemon suckers, the sour face girls with the tiny mouths, pursed lips, miniature features, troubled looks, and pointy chins, i.e. the first lady. The large open pit variety vaginas are to be found in women with big mouths, big teeth, lots of hair, and sparkling personality, i.e. Carly Simon. How close to either of those extremes a gal is will let you know her vaginal size, give or take a thumb or two. Note, girls under the age of consent, women under 5 feet tall, and all Hawaiian females have extremely tight vaginas. And you checked with the First Lady and Carly Simon, did you? To verify this? Because that's the thing. You don't need the internet to create absolute confident shitposts that people are actually gonna believe. You know, what the hell? Just what the hell? Really? What are you talking about? Okay, a video of an abalone of someone salting it and like rubbing the salt in. Why are girls scared of this? It's literally part of their body. What are you talking about? This is a sea mollusk called abalone. What he did was freaking weird and fucked up. The video is disturbing, that's why we're scared. Yeah. Well, imagine someone puts a lot of salt in your pee-pee. Okay, yeah, first of all, the whole point was that it resembles female body parts, right? That's why he did it, to make a weird sexual video. I think that was the point of just like being sexy and just like rubbing it to show that he knows his way around a woman's parts, when in reality the act of actually rubbing salt in it while you're doing it is just, it would be weird anyways, but you just made it so much more horrifying with the salt, you know. So congrats, I guess. So I had to take a psych study and it was asking me this. Hold on, let me get the picture. Okay, I can't actually read the question above it, it's too pixely, but this is a legitimate study at a legitimate university. Which to choose? Concave genital area or thigh butt? What the frick is going on? Yeah, literally, what was the question? Was the question literally just how you would describe your own body type, or like asking you to describe your, or like pick your ideal type in women. What is going on? But whatever the question was, these pictures are just awful. And I hope you could skip this question, but I kind of got a feeling you probably couldn't. But what just, I know you don't get that much budget probably for these studies, but this was not the way to save the money, by having really weird, unrealistic drawings in that study. Nothing to be proud of. Most women don't desire sex or get horny. Only during ovulation do women get horny, and that's 2 days of the month. Now, a man being celibate for 500 days is a real flex. Just because women aren't horny around you doesn't mean it's not a thing in general. Literally, what are these people thinking? I love that they're all just so convinced that all men, without exception, are horny all the time, and women, without exception, are apparently only horny 2 days during the month. I love how convinced these people are, really, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Because, yeah, guess what? People's sex drive varies. Kind of varies from person to person, really. In a discussion about going to the gym after donating blood, there's no reason not to. In fact, it would be more beneficial. Just don't go mad. They only took just under a pint. That's daily loss during Ladies' Week. I've got complex bleeding disorders and you're helping me and people like me. Thank you. Okay, I get encouraging people to donate blood. I get thanking people for donating blood. I don't get thinking that female bodies lose a pint of blood every day during menstruation. Because they don't. That's not how much blood is lost. Right? Because I think when I was younger, it was kind of described as a teacup or something over the whole period, which I found hard to believe because it always looked more than that, really. But a pint each day would be a problem, really. And also, I don't think it's just a German thing, but in Germany they literally tell you not to exercise and not to drive heavy machinery because, yeah, well, if you actually get dizzy, you might have a problem if you're doing stuff like that, but they literally tell you not to exercise. Sometimes they tell you not to take a really hot shower after because that might also make you faint or something. What are you talking about? So, are you curvy? I don't know, you can see my pictures. Yeah, big boobs you have, wow, amazing. 2 of my ex-girlfriends, their boobs were small and I'm not sure why. What do you mean you're not sure why? Because I thought women drink milk a lot to grow their boobs, and I guess 2 of my ex-girlfriends were not drinking it enough, I guess. Maybe it was the wrong food they were eating or something. This is not a video game where consuming certain potions or something might give you your health, or this is not a video game. You can't just be oh, I'm gonna drink milk and grow my boobs, and if I stop drinking milk, they stop growing. If I eat this food, they get smaller again. What are you thinking? How do you think that works? Okay, that's a man hand. Look at the fingers on either side of the middle finger. They're the same size. Females have one that's shorter, not the same size. Skeletons never lie. Yeah, trash has man hands too. Women's ring finger and index finger cannot be the same size, according to these people at least. It's about Elon's new baby mama. He thinks she's a man. She literally got into public light because she gave birth to a baby, and you want to say she's biologically male? I mean, first of all, saying, oh, skeletons never lie, because so many trans people have reacted to comments like this. I'm that's literally ridiculous, because I think mine are on my right hand, they're the same size. On my left, the index finger is a little bit longer, just by 3 millimeters basically. So what does that make my biological sex? Because according to these people, my biological sex would be male, right? I guess. According to these people, you heard it here first. People with vaginas, what is the most facepalm-inducing question someone has ever asked you about your anatomy? Several years ago, a cis gay friend dead seriously asked me, so does it open and close like a Venus flytrap? I stared at him in absolute disbelief. This was a fully grown man my age. His attitude towards the whole setup was essentially, ew, gross, but must we sound like middle school boys about it? He also said they're cold and slimy. Where was he getting this stuff? ETA, this is not mean-spirited. There is generally a gap in information and stigma about open discussion. RE this anatomy and it produces some head scratchers. What the hell? Like, I almost get. Like, if he was like an actual middle or high schooler and he knew he was gay and he literally had like no interest in certain body parts, I would almost get it. But just being that misinformed about human anatomy seems strange either way. Like, you don't have to want to touch it or actually be around it to know things. You know, like, it's a little bit worse for me when actual, like, straight men get it that wrong, because they're interested in women, and a lot of them seem like they're only interested in sex, and then still getting anatomy so wrong seems a lot worse somehow. But cold, I can kind of see where you got slimy from. Slimy is not how I would use to, like, the word I would use to describe it, but cold, and also, like, what the hell? What the hell is all I have to say to that. Anyways, that was all the horrifying posts I can take for today. Some are horrifying, some were just straight up confusing. Because how can you get it so wrong? But these people, I shouldn't be saying that. These people take it as a challenge, and the next video is just gonna be worse, because I'm gonna go back to the subreddit and find posts that are gonna be even more wrong. I just know it. But anyways, we'll point them out and laugh about them together, I think. So we're not as horrified since we're doing it together. I hope that's the effect it's gonna have on me, actually. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel smart because you know more than these people. And I hope you're hydrated. If not, go grab something to drink now. And I'll be back in a few days with my next video.